Very bright.
Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose UCAR. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
Elliot.
Ich liebe dich.
I just wanted to say that again.
Ich
What did
liebe
you say?
dich.
Miss, you're ready.
Ich liebe dich.
I love you in German.
Oh, ich liebe dich. Oh, sorry, brother. Yeah, okay, there we go. I didn't see that one coming. Ich liebe dich. Okay, I love you. Te amo. Gracias.
I love you.
Danke schön. Das ist sehr, sehr gut.
Well, this is one of the last episodes recording of the Public Speaking Expert Podcast of 2021. So by the time you hear it's probably 2022, but I know it's one of the last ones we're recording. And I'm really looking forward to the topic of today, because I tell you why.
Tell us why,
You know
Elliot.
why?
Tell us why right now. But
I
tell us
love
right
you.
now. I love you.
I
Ich
love
liebe
you, man.
dich.
So
Love you, bro.
today we're going to talk about, some very important stuff. And in case you didn't know, my name is Elliot. I'm on behalf of the Public Speaking Expert Podcast, and I work with business owners and entrepreneurs to help them be seen, be heard as authority, stand out from the rest, be more giraffe, and therefore get more sales, grow their businesses, and of course, get booked and get paid as a result.
Elliot, I just clicked on something here. I almost closed the connection here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, but you didn't, because I can still see and hear you.
So you can still see me. Amazing. Well, I'm Jose UCAR. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me? I'm here. We
Yes,
are live
yes.
on LinkedIn, and I'm a communication and public speaking coach, and I'm helping you craft and convey a clear and impactful message that sells and grows your business. If you want to find out more, just go to joseucar.com or just Google my name. Let's do this, Elliot K. Today's topic is powerful, impactful, and I cannot wait to share it, because as we know, Elliot, and as you know, lovely listener, we
What do I know?
love it when you take action. I don't know what you know sometimes, honestly. You keep on saying what you know, that you know, but you don't really show what you know. But maybe you apply what you know. And if you're applying what you know, whatever that might be, then that is good stuff.
Of course, as long as you know it.
That you know it, to apply
Exactly.
it.
So I'll tell you
There.
what I know, what I really, really know.
So tell me what you know, what you really, really know. Or what you want to know.
Anyway, so here's the thing. Sorry about my cough. I must stop smoking crack. We're going to talk about today. What is that look for?
Just the fact that, it's not good for you to smoke. So I'm glad that you're stopping it.
Yeah, of course. I don't really smoke. I don't really smoke.
No, of course you don't. I mean, you finished. You can share now, Elliot. I'll share for you. He ran one of his best, or the best, half marathon yesterday. So he's a healthy guy. Yeah. Elliot, is that right to say? Was he the best one or one of the best
It wasn't
ones?
my best time, but I felt it was my best because it was the hardest, and I actually
Beautiful.
finished in really good time because it was muddy, it was hilly, it was wet, it was, it was actually a really tough course. And I'm really happy to say that I did it in a good time, and I actually felt very strong when I was running it, and I just felt really good about running. But then I didn't realize how much I overexerted myself, and then when I got home, I just kept falling asleep. I was like, oh, I thought I was stronger than this, but then I wasn't. But that's not what we're talking about today, are we? That's not what we're talking about.
Not really. Not
No,
really.
we're not talking about that. So today's topic is all about speaking and online courses. Match made in heaven, Jose. What
I
are
love
some
that.
of Okay, let's dial this right back. Let's take it right back. Let's rewind, right? Why do some speakers not have online courses, and why do some speakers really struggle with that?
Well, here you go, people. If you haven't got an online course, it might be for different reasons. One of them might be that you don't know how valuable it can be, so you haven't made it one of your priorities. The other one, you don't know how to create one, which could happen. You don't know the structure to utilize. Next, you don't know how to market it, You don't know what platforms to use to host it on. And you don't know what you don't know. So those are some of the main challenges. And also the reason as to why you would like to have an online course, because it's not just having one for the sake of it. What is the purpose behind it? So those are some of the challenges I face and I hear people speaking about when it comes to having an online course. Tan, 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 tan. What about you, Elliot K?
Well, I do also, I mean, but don't you think part of the challenge is, especially with the pandemic, right, that everybody suddenly was churning out online courses, like literally out of their bottoms. Like, oh, I've got online course. I've got online course. I've got online course. Yes, and I added those sound effects. It's true. But isn't that the case that suddenly everybody was churning out online courses? So don't you feel that some people might feel it's a very saturated, or it's a very done thing, or it's a cliche thing, maybe something like that?
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. And another one that I wanted to add is actually not knowing the part around, not just the structure, but actually how to film it, how to make it interactive, and all of that, which is very important. And Elliot, you have a point. And for example, if we're going to be speaking today about this, when I launched mine back in, I think it was a couple of years ago during the pandemic, maybe last year, I don't know,
You
time
just made
flies.
my point.
Well, I looked exactly. The thing is, I looked at the statistics from Udemy and some other online platforms, and the numbers were growing rapidly. And there were some topics more than others where people were demanding this. So the timing was good, and the timing element we can speak about. But then during the pandemic, more people went online. So there was a huge demand for it. So more people, and then more people providing these things. Even today, it's just a bit, I'm not going to say the same as podcasting, but they expect the market to carry on growing. So it's still a good time to jump on board. And if you haven't created an online course, it's a great thing to have. And also, Elliot, I'm going to say, this is not just about the money you're going to be making. It's also about how you're going to use it strategically for your business. Because we can say, yeah, well, everybody's doing it. Yeah, but then it's just like a book. So if you haven't got a book, maybe you haven't got that one more thing that is going to help your credibility, your authority in a specific field. And then it's going to be down to the quality of the content you create, the same, the quality of the book, which we're going to be speaking, I think, about next or in one of the episodes soon. And the other one, the quality of the content you produce for your online course. So those are some of the things. So over to you.
Just remember, you're listening to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast, and today's episode is sponsored by
The World-Class Communicator.
The World-Class Communicator. So, of course, if you want to know more, the links will be in the bio. And, of course, if you want to find out any more about working with me or Jose, do reach out to us, send us a message, and you can book us for talks together or individually. We'd love to work with you anytime we can to support your growth, your journey, to not only be a great speaker, but to
speak your greatness. And that music is incredible, Elliot. Nicely picked. So well done, you. Round of applause for Elliot K.
Thank you. So, Jose, how do speakers go about making an online course? Tell us about this. And how do they use speaking for their online course?
Well, and how do they use speaking to sell their online course?
Yeah.
And everything to do with speaking and your online course. Well, speakers, you've got an advantage, because for an online course, it's actually a good idea for you to be in front of the camera and speak your greatness, okay, and deliver your topic in a very unique way. So if you're a speaker, I would say you're a bit ahead of that curve, because you don't really need to work on becoming influential, persuasive, deliver that incredible version of you,
No,
which
you
is what's
do.
good.
I disagree with you.
The what?
You do need to work about becoming influential and persuasive. Of course.
Of course you do, and this is what we do as speakers. Yes, but I'm coming to my point.
Oh.
I'm going to take Elliot out of the conversation now, people. So there's a little curtain just moving that way. Of course you do. Okay, so don't get me wrong. In case, obviously, Elliot, come back. Whoop. Elliot, come back. Elliot just left, but now he's back. He got, we got a bit emotional. Of course, you definitely need to keep on working on that for that to happen. But if you're a speaker, imagine you're a paid speaker or you have a speaking business, you have got more experience. You're doing this more often. So when you put yourself in front of the camera, it's going to be easier than from some people that haven't done it yet. Some people that would like to do a training course on, I don't know, how to cook, for example, and they haven't spoken much like you have. Regardless, that's one of the elements. So how do you go about it? I would say one of the simple structures that you can create, and before even thinking about the structure, I don't know, Elliot has got like a funny face today. What is it, brother?
Nothing.
You're really
Nothing.
getting on my nerves now. So that's it. So we're gonna wrap up the episode today.
Boo!
Oh, is that a boo for me? That's a boo for you.
Yes.
He's
That's a
got
boo for
that
you.
he's got that face. Just look at that face, kind of yeah. I'm naughty Elliot K. There we go. Ooh. Okay, so
Nothing. I was just
start-
listening to you.
the thing is, he's looking at me, but he's kind of looking at me like. So start
I'm
with the
listening to
end
what you're
in mind.
saying.
Oh goodness me! Thank you very much.
Jose,
Hold on.
Jose.
Talk to me.
love you.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. Now I relax. That's what I wanted to hear. So, people, again, start with the end in mind. What do you want the audience to take away? Just like when you're crafting a powerful speech, what do you want your audience to take away? And then work backwards. And an easy structure to do just that is then you start with the topics, okay, that are going to lead the audience to take that away in whatever the length of the course is going to be. If you look at the World Class Communicator, you're going to see that I created 3 modules, but then I've been adding more bonuses and things. But I'll speak about that later. So I created, if you look at each of one of the modules, there's the topic, there is the why I'm speaking about this topic, there is a definition of the topic, there is an exercise or an example or a story that I share, and then the opportunity for you to do some exercises and take your own learning, because I'm all about experiential learning. So you go and start, okay, I'm going to be learning about rapport. Okay, rapport. So why should I learn about rapport? So I'm telling you, this is why rapport is important. And then you go and learn about rapport, the definition. And then I provide you with what can be an exercise, a story, or both, in which, okay, so you find an application for it. Then you do an exercise, you experience, you take your own learning, and then you even write it down. And that is the best way I found, the best way, a very good way to craft a powerful online course, because one of the things is going to be then, it doesn't matter how much or how interactive you are in front of the camera with the videos and everything else, you want to take people on that journey of self-discovery. And that is one of the things that are going to make an online course from the online course, okay? So the power of the structure, knowing exactly what the audience is going to take away. And I feel like we can speak about this a bit more, Elliot. So over to you. Do you want to contribute?
You're doing such a great job. And then
Thank you
when
so
I
much,
do, you
Elliot.
tell me that I've got a cheeky face on, so I'm a bit scared right now.
Well, but it's a good cheeky face. I like it.
Oh, okay, good. No, I think what you said, I think the challenge obviously starts somewhere and build up. I think, where people get it wrong, speakers or non-speakers, is first of all, actually it can be, build it. I'm going to say this and you can push back. Creating the course is easy. I'm going to say that. It's really easy. You decide on the modules and you film the modules. It's that simple. Then you choose the platform to host it in. Sure, there's a bit of work, titles and a bit of copy. That's the easy part. The hard part, and this is where speaking comes in, is launching the online course. Would you agree with me, Mr. Jose Walker?
Well, also, it depends on the quality. I agree up to an extent, okay? Because depending on how you're going to be creating your content, because you may decide to go, you know what, I'm going to quickly record using Zoom, and that's fine, and then the content is there. Or you can actually work on creating like a proper, videography, well edited with lots of animations and things that is almost like a film, and then there is more work to put into it. It depends on what your end product, what you want your end product to look like as well. Thinking about the impact you want to have and all of that. And then, yes, Elliot, great point, because it doesn't matter. It can be like Zoom or done with your phone, or it can be like, created by, well, I'm not going to say Steven Spielberg here, but, like a great videographer and, with
budget, I'm sure he would, right?
Well, exactly, he would. But that won't matter if you don't know how to launch it. Absolutely, if you haven't got a successful strategy to launch the training, because then if people don't know that you have it, people are not going to buy it, people are not going to benefit from it, which is might be one of the ideas and the intentions behind you launching a product like that. Because the other one is, a product, a podcast. We've launched, together we've launched so many things this year. I know individually we've launched so many things.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but that is going to be another one. And the strategic side of things, which for me, Elliot, and I know Elliot has written 5 books, and we're going to have a session on, writing books as well. which I'm going to be doing soon. But well, I'm not going to talk about books now. I'm talking about online courses, people. So focus here, okay? Focus on the topic. Jesus, you're being naughty today. No, Elliot, you audience.
Me?
I'm talking to you. No, not you, Elliot, the audience.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich. So because you can use it strategically, and it can be an incredible add-on or resource that you provide your clients with, and that is also going to help you to build up your reputation. So yeah, and then depending on the different platforms you use, there's different strategies, because you create this great content, this size, big, huge, but then you take bits and pieces and post them in key platforms, or key platforms out there, so people begin to recognize it and position it and consume it. And then that's going to have a ripple effect on some other parts of the business, your social media, and then redirecting people to your own online course, which then you can host on a platform that you control and you monetize in your own way. And if you want to give access to Elliot K, I can. But also, if I want to take the access away from Elliot K today, I can. So, that gives me that kind of power. I'm not going to take it away from you, Elliot K.
You're a very powerful man.
In that sense,
I want to take
my
the way you were
coaching
going
away.
to land. I was hoping where you're going to land is one of the best and easiest ways to launch an online course is to speak. That's where I was hoping you'd go with that.
Yeah,
being the Public Speaking Expert podcast.
We spoke about it. I went on marketing and I just went, look, do this. Well,
what you said is valid too, but I thought the whole point is like speaking, match made in heaven, online courses. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to get on stages, do a talk, and then sell people to online courses. You can do a talk a day, and each time you lead people to your online course, and then that's a really easy way to launch an online course. But instead, you went off and wrote the encyclopedia when all I wanted was an article.
I given you everything, but
You're
yeah,
fired.
I'm fired. I'm out. So give me my boob while I drink something here.
Oh, you want to boo? I wasn't going to boo you, but okay. As you asked
Just
for it.
boo me, yeah.
No, I'm joking. Of course, what you were sharing was brilliant. What I'd like to add to that is a very simple way to launch an online course is to speak, right? Have a great signature talk. Even if you're doing 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, throughout the talk, obviously the talk is a shop window for the online course. You highlight what people need to know, and therefore your course helps that gap and shows people how to learn what you just talked about, what they need to know. And literally, you could do a virtual talk a day, and each day you are upselling them into your online course. I think what happens a lot in the industry, and this happens a lot from the listeners and the people that will be listening to this, is they get swept into launch an online course in 30 days. I went from blah to blah. I got this many to this many. And while that's great marketing and it lures people in, very few people actually hit those numbers. But if you speak on a consistent basis, and I mean on a consistent basis, and every time you upsold them to your course, then you would get really good numbers and you'd make an ROI on your online course. So absolutely, it's a match made in heaven. Every speaker should have one. And I'll tell you why there's another reason why you should have one.
Tell me.
Lean in and listen to Papa Elliot.
Papaito.
Right? Is that a really bad thing? Did you just...
No, papaito. No, it depends. Not in, well, I mean, it could be misunderstood, but I said like papaito, not papito. Papaito.
What's
it's
papito?
Like, papito is more like daddy, like, hey, daddy, papito, daddy.
Like sugar daddy.
Yeah, it can be like that as well. But papaito is like papaito, like, my friend or papaito, come on.
Papaito.
It's different. Yeah, papaito is kind. The other one is sexy.
Oh, I don't know. Would I want sexy or do I want kind? Anyway, let's go.
You want
kind.
papaito. You want kind.
Okay.
From me.
Escúchate, papaito. Right? Here's the thing. The other thing, when you're speaking and you've got an online course, let's say someone turns around to you and has an inquiry about your speaking fee. And let's say they can't really afford you. So what you could give them is a smaller talk and then access to your online course. So then it becomes a really good add-on or something else you can charge. Or what you can say, for example, if you do book me for this fee, I'll throw in my online course to all of your employees or to some of your employees. So it becomes a really good bolt-on. I have an online course. In fact, I've got two. I've got three, actually. But really, the way I use them is I always have them as bolt-ons. So if someone comes to my database, they get an email about it, it's a reduced price. Or what I do is I add into my other packages. So that's how I use it. Every speaker should have an online course. It is a match made in heaven. It will take time to build. You will need to market it. everything Jose said plus everything I said makes ebony and ivory living together in perfect harmony. Side by my shadow. There we go.
You want me to
Jose.
sing with you? That was powerful.
No.
Yes, people, remember
Please don't
that
sing with me.
that speaking part. If you're listening to the Public Speaking Experts podcast, what Elliot said makes perfect sense because this is about speaking. So match made in heaven, and I was just making the match somewhere else. But then it came to heaven, and we are all heavenly here today, speaking about online courses. And it's also a great way to introduce yourself. I use it for many different reasons. I have it on my signature. But yes, when it comes to training and speaking to sell, every time I put myself out there, I always mention it so people can check it out. So if you go, for example, if you want to check it out, if you go to joseucar.com or if you Google me, joseucar.com, world class communicator, take a look at the structure and also see how we use it. See how Elliot uses his courses, how I use mine, because it's always like a bonus depending on, as in when. One of the strategies as well, whenever you're speaking, you can give it even for free to the key person in the audience or the key person within the organization, say the MD of the business. And then by giving it for free to that person may speak about it, and then the other employees may decide to buy it as well. So, there's lots of different things you can do, but always use it to add value because it is a great piece that is just already there that you've created. So it becomes green. What is the green? Evergreen. I do like that expression. Having some evergreen content out there that you can use and reuse. It's way powerful than just a business card. And you can still use that one as a business card. Hey, here you go, my online course. Check it out. I'll give you access for a couple of days to see what I'm about. Come back. Boom. I'm done speaking. And I'm Jose with Elliot K.
So just remember, people, that this podcast is sponsored by the World Class Communicator. So make sure you either Google it or you go to joseucar.com and you just simply choose the World Class Communicator as well. And just remember that if you do like what you're hearing, to like, subscribe, and comment on the podcast. And if you send a picture to us of your comment, and it's a nice one, I will send you a copy of my book. And you can send the picture to the Elliot and Jose Show on Instagram. So, Jose, dancing away, what's your final message to everybody who might not have an online course, who has an online course, might be thinking of an online course? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you really going to say? What are you going to say? Say it. Say it.
Now, say it now. I come across a lot of people, okay? And this might be you thinking, I'm going to launch my online course and I'm going to get rich, because that's what something said out there. I don't know if it will happen for you. Definitely hasn't happened for me, even though the World Class Communicator has got over 40,000 students, okay, and it's changed many things in the business positively. It just doesn't happen overnight. And don't just come thinking, yeah, I'm going to launch it, I'm going to get rich. What is the higher purpose? How are you going to use it strategically as well? Because it is just long term also. We were having a great conversation in one of the podcasts speaking about the process. So trust that process of creating your online course and the long-term impact it's going to have. And if you want to create some more, create some more. Once you have your online course, add more to it. Whatever you decide to do, it's not just about getting rich from it. I find it very, very difficult. But if you do things right, you can monetize it and it can positively impact what you do. And as I said, long-term, yeah, you may start, getting some good numbers also. There is a strategy to it. Reach out to Elliot, myself, let's talk, because we can definitely help with that. Think about the impact you're going to have. As I said, 40,000 people worldwide. It's not just in the UK, across the world. So one of my strategies in agreement with my values was to give loads of my course away to charities, people in Africa that couldn't afford this, in the Philippines, in Asia, India, Venezuela, Latin America. Okay? So there are different ways in which you can utilize your online course, not just to make money, but to impact people's lives. Thank you so much, and get started.
All right. And if they want to find out more about the World Communicator, where do they go?
You can type World Class Communicator or worldclasscommunicator.com, joseucar.com, which is my new website, or just Google Jose World Class Communicator. You're going to find me everywhere. I'm like the shadow and and the whatever. I don't know what else to say. I've spoken just too long today, Elliot K. So thank you very much, everybody.
Don't believe you. Well, listen, people, check it out. Grab your copy, grab your whatever, grab your place, grab your space. You know, do it now.
I remember.
You've been